Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. We'll hop in the queue here, and in the meantime, Homeless has a rematch with Unknown, as you may recall from our last episode. Honestly, like, this is probably not the next game they played. I'm a pretty slow player, and it's not so often that there's only one game in between two of my games, because I do that analysis in between as well. And then I have to like stop recording and go get a drink or something, start recording again. So anyway, who cares? What's going on in this game? There's a lot of drones and a Zamora on both sides. Boy, it sure looks like Unknown is winning, isn't he? He's up like 4 attack. And up drones. I guess we shut off the Zamora, though? Oh, that's pretty cool. Well? I mean, it still seems alright for Unknown. He's got a lot more of like this stuff, and his Zamora will be firing every turn forever, even if you keep sniping conduits, because you have like 7 left over. But I don't know, maybe not. You're down an Apollo, right? That's a big advantage Homeless has, is he has an Apollo. Nine, 15, 18. Okay, yeah, that absorbs on Xeno. I don't know about this. Mightn't you prefer to snipe wall? It doesn't seem realistic to me to like deny the Zamora ever being clicked again. But I don't know. Maybe you could do it. 13 green, and then 5 more is 18. That's enough to click it twice, but then 6 more is only 24. That's 3 clicks. If you can survive 3 more turns, like, you're denying your opponent the ability to ever build anything green if they want to fire Zamora 3 times. But, I mean, they have Hellhounds. Also, like, what happened to our red? Centrifuge, I see. Huh. Yeah, I feel like if we snipe this wall, we cause opponent a great inconvenience. They can't absorb on Xeno, they have to absorb on Zatron. But maybe this long-term plan of just grinding away the conduits is a better idea. I don't know. How are we for wall supply? We're not in such great shape. But, you know, next turn's a Zatron on turn, so there's that. We have a lot of Xeno supply. To soak with, I guess. And I guess we're trying to switch to Hounds now? Like Xeno Hound is our defense? That doesn't seem very realistic, but maybe it is. You know, it's the Zatron on turn? I don't know. $11 next turn is a click. No, it's only 10. Right, because only get 5 more. And then the turn after that, it's only 14, right? Total? Yeah, we're actually turning off this Zamora. That's interesting. I mean, it's far from a sure thing in terms of winning. We're down a ton of this other attack, so even if we do turn off the Zamora, like, opponent kind of has as much attack as we do. But we get the $8 and they don't. I don't know. Still looks good for unknown to me. Oh, rhinos? Not hounds? I thought hounds were the idea, but I guess you want the Xeno more badly? I don't know. So next turn we get a break from the Zamora. And then after that it basically never fires again, I think. But we're spending our whole Apollo on doing that, of course. I'll be interested to see how that one... Well, I would be interested, but I don't think I'll get to find out. Maybe I'll ask Homeless. Goodness gracious, there's a lot of green. Valk is kind of required almost because of Plexo. No, you can just get Shivers to deny Plexo, I think. What is going on here? Anyway, we're playing against the Predator, base +8, 60 seconds. This has got to be some low econ red-green slugfest, but yeah, I just think that Valk is not good enough to get. Although Valk Shiver is such a cool combo, I just don't think you can afford that many drones. Everything is so lightning fast. Can you really have like 17 drones, which is what you would want for something like this? I don't think you can. Not with opponents' Shiver Yetis denying you Plexos. So I think this is really just red-green with like, you get a couple Shivers, a Sinestra, a couple Tarsiers, and Protos after that. What's a build that gets to that look like? Do you get Natural Animus? Or do you get like a turn 3 Conduit? And then an Animus on turn 4? It feels kind of slow. I don't think we can do anything funny like buy tech here. You need more drones than that. And I think for player 2, DDC is pretty reasonable. Although, you know, then you're not getting the first red, so maybe DA is better. I don't know. I think for player 1... Yeah, maybe... I think it has to be DDA next turn. Into, like, TTC. You're only on like 10 drones, so even getting a Sinestra is not very realistic in that universe. But I don't think you can wait any longer. You could try building just one Tarsier for some reason and get more drones instead. Right, DDA into TCD? I don't think that's correct. But you do need to get like a second conduit. That's really, really important. Honestly, 3 conduits would not be unreasonable. Not for like mass Sinestras, but just for like proto force field or something. And so for that reason, you might consider getting an extra drone at some point. But I think just TTC into like Into what? I don't think you can spend another turn buying 2 Tarsiers and a second conduit, can you? I just feel like player 1 has way better options than I do. Player 2, I mean, with this natural conduit is pretty good here. But, you know, these are options that don't involve Tarsiers, which I think are a pretty good start to what you want to do. So it's a fair trade-off, I think. Thought I'd ask Homeless there. Okay, I mean, this is not the end of the world. I was thinking about them getting a kinetic driver, but that doesn't seem very good. And also not getting any absorber doesn't seem great either. Looks like he won that game. Great. Good for you. Now I can get my conduit. Wait, blue. Okay, so opponent wants this stuff. The Valk. And I guess Shiver Yeti business. Which, like, what do I do about that? I think I need to deny. I don't know. Is it Rhino or is it Yeti time yet? I don't think so. I need just more green. So it's like another Rhino Tarsier Conduit turn, I guess. I wonder if this should have been a Yeti, because I don't really want to click 2 Rhinos to kill 1 Engie here. So I don't need a Rhino right now, actually. I can just get like 2 Tarsiers. And I think that argues that this Rhino should have been a Shiver Yeti, so I can... Well... I really wanted to be able to deny Plexos, but to do that, I have to buy some Shivers before my Protos. That's interesting. I think that, like, holding back Valk against Protos is not all that great, because I can just keep the Proto back. I wonder if it was worth actually holding back my Rhino last turn so that I didn't have to buy another and I could just buy more Tarsiers instead. Because, like, clicking these sucks. I think I still want an Animus. But they are giving me an opportunity to tech switch if I want into, like, blue. To defend the Valks more comfortably. Just like build walls, basically. Seems kind of interesting. If I build a wall, will they even click the Valk? They might not. It's fine with me, I guess. What if I tried to get my own Valk? Is this crazy? Seems pretty bad, in fact. Yeah, let's just do this. I'm not sure why they thought it was so important to take away my Animus. Like, just because Protos and Shivers are good, maybe? Maybe they were afraid of a Sinestro someday? $15 is a pretty awkward amount for my opponent to have, actually. They can't build a Valk or a Sinestro without floating a tech. Sinestro makes them float 2 tech, in fact, so I guess Valk is coming. I think I have enough econ, maybe, to add an Animus as well here for turns like Wall Proto. But I'd have to add another Conduit as well to do that regularly, and maybe it's kind of tough to do that while still buying stuff with the tech I already have. Maybe I would do better to just buy more kinetics or something. Shivers are only really good if you know opponent really wants a Plexo, right? Because otherwise, like if they're in a position to defend without Plexo, then you're spending like 10 RR to delete a wall, which is like not all that great. Drone? Engie? Like, if they add one more attacker, I'll want the Engie. Conduit's also an option. Engie is giving me granularity, but I don't think they really should attack next turn, actually. Yeah. So they won't attack. Because I'll have 2 barriers in addition to this dead Rhino and a wall. So it's more about adding tech here. Do I want another Conduit? I don't think so. I think I just want more drones. And I can probably exploit by holding back this Rhino, I assume. Ooh, are they gonna not even click Valk? What? Attacking for 4 is even better against this. Are you crazy? Maybe I shouldn't have gotten the kinetic because I expected them to be having granularity problems. It's worth considering, I guess. So an attack for 5 kills a Rhino here, but that's neutral value. I shouldn't worry about that. Now I can proto-wall Conduit next turn if I want, right? Proto-wall is 12. Conduit is 16. That seems like a pretty good play. I guess they're gonna hold back their Valk and build another, right? That's what they want to do. That's why they got all these NGs. I'll be attacking for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which they can't actually defend without spending some tech, so they'll have to build... They'll have to hold a drone, actually? Wow. If they want a Valk. This seems pretty good. Oh, right. If they hold the Valk, obviously they have enough defense. They're just losing wall. Right, I forgot that they're holding Valk, not clicking it. Good. This is enough attack that they're definitely going to attack into my Proto. They don't get some cool exploits. It's not even like... It's not really an exploit to attack for one into a wall. Well, this makes it sort of neutral for them to attack into my Proto. So maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't, I don't know. Probably not. At any rate, I'm holding the Rhino again. This costs them some granularity, and all it does is delay my Rhino charge. Wait, really? I know this Shiver Yeti doesn't do anything great yet, but soon he will? I don't know. I guess from that point of view, he's no better than a Tarsier, right? If he doesn't do anything meaningful next turn. Does he, though? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 is what I threaten. And if, assuming they want to click Valk, which of course they do. Yeah, they're just not making it very good for me to build a Proto right now. So I think I'm not going to. And I'll do this instead to put on more pressure. No, that's over-defending, I think. Well, the Yeti only freezes one, but that might be a granularity exploit that you don't want to deal with. I haven't worked out whether it actually is. This Sinestro, though, is pretty spooky. I'm not very happy with how that's happened. I had removed Sinestro from the set in my mind. Sinestro's time had come and gone. So right now they're keeping one thing alive, right? Which is an NG. Freezing an NG doesn't do anything against that. So I just do this, and I'm losing a Shiver Yeti, which sucks. I should have just bought NGs last turn, I guess. I guess I could do this? No, that's dumb. Yeah, it is dumb. Okay. Next turn I have access to a Proto unless they kinetic my Animus? But I have, like, access to Plexo as well, if they do that. And I threaten to absorb onto Shiver, by the way. If that would get a breach in some important way. Are they really not going to click the Valk? Are you for real? Okay, I mean, this isn't a breach. They get to keep what? 4 alive? That's both Shivers. If I do this, they get to keep 3 alive, which is either a Shiver and get exploited, or a wall and lose both Shivers. I'm happy with either of those outcomes. They're guaranteed losing at least a little threat here. But I could hold a drone for granularity, I suppose. I don't think I will. I'm not sure why, whether it's good or bad. I couldn't really figure out what exploits they have available. It's pretty complicated with Shivrietis. Valk as Infusion Grid is extremely expensive. I wonder, instead of losing wall... No, what am I talking about? I just lose wall on a proto. I was thinking of like losing rhinos somehow, but that's just bad. I'm down quite a few drones, I guess. It's 3. What tech building do I take out with my kinetic? Probably a forge, right? Like, defending is pretty important, and green is not a good defender when I have shivers. I can't build another proto, actually. That kind of stinks. I really wished I could have built a conduit, but I just didn't have the money for it. Okay, first of all, I would like to do this. That's better than denying barrier value, is killing the Valk. Now you don't get another Valk. I don't need this yet. Let's just get a Rhino. This seems great. Yeah, you gotta be careful with those Shiver Yetis. They, like, the highest value play is for them to freeze barriers, but they don't have to do that. So, like, Shiver Yeti with Valk is, you can sort of shortcut and think of it as a fast Tarsier, right, for 5 and a red. Every turn it deals 1 damage by freezing an enemy barrier. In fact, mine was a slow Tarsier, because it didn't do anything the turn I bought it. And then, like, the next turn, it got some value by... It did 1 damage, sort of, by killing this freezing the engineer. Didn't actually do 1 damage, right? The opponent got full absorb, but they had to lose units they didn't want to use, and the total value was, like, roughly 1 damage. But you always have to worry, like, might opponent allow me to use these barriers and freeze something else? That's extra threat that you have, right? Opponent thought I wouldn't do that. They said, okay, he's freezing 2 barriers and a force field, so he actually only has 4 freeze, is what opponent supposes, right? I have 17 and I have 13 and 4, 19 defends. But, you know, instead of denying them 2 value by freezing 2 barriers, what if I deny them 3 absorb and take away a bunch of their attack by doing this? That's way better. So that was just clearly a misstep at the end. I think I was winning anyway because they had spent a lot of time never clicking Valk. Right, they bought Valk and only clicked it once to kill 2 engineers, and then every turn after that it defended. Seems kind of problematic. I do think that this, like, there's something to this idea that I had of maybe I shouldn't have clicked the Rhino, even though it kills an engineer, because it means I have to buy another Rhino instead of, like, Tarsiers against an opponent who's about to have a Blast Forge. I like, just didn't really think. I was sort of on autopilot. I was like, oh, this will get us to 3 damage. You know, fine. Like, the Rhino won't be wasted. But it is wasted. You don't want 2 Rhinos to kill 1 engineer. And so I should have seen that coming, held the Rhino to just keep absorbing with it and get click value later once I have enough actual attackers that it's good, right? A turn more like TTC here. and then like their wall feels kind of bad against just one attack, but also not building a wall feels kind of bad against 2 threat. See what I mean? And I think that this kinetic snipe, I just don't get it. It made things a bit awkward for me, but you know, I have options. It's not the end of the world to switch to a different attacker when you're already at the absorb barrier. That's sort of the point in time at which Tarsiers are less amazing. So I don't mind adding faster attackers at this point, switching to blue. I eventually got back into red, but like having the Animus sniped is not a big imposition for me. What about this turn? This is the turn I was planning to build a Proto. I didn't do that because... Wait, was I? Yeah. Because opponent built so little permanent attack that I think they get too much value from declining to attack into a Proto. Right? When I'm only absorbing with wall, they really ought to click Valk here. It kills 3 health worth of stuff and gives me 2 barriers. Which is like, you know, it's not amazing value, but it's good. Now, it means they're absorbing 1 less, and that's a problem too. But they can, like... If they can get even 1 Shiver Yeti to deny the barrier's value, like, the play starts looking better and better. Like, they could have clicked Valk here and bought, like, double Shiver Plexo Force Field? Something. Maybe they don't need the Force Field, I don't know. They're kind of missing out on a wall, which sucks. Yeah, I don't know. But given what they actually did, I think it was better to build a Valk and just miss out on regular Protos. I don't know. Kind of a... Didn't really go according to plan. Like, I saw Valk and Shiver, and I just thought, like... Isn't it more important to build red stuff, red-green, than to divert into blue for Valks, which, like, requires you to spend a bunch of your red on Shivers, which you don't super want to do. You know, you're thrilled once you have a Valk, but do you want to build a Forge to commit yourself to Valks and Shivers? I didn't think you'd have enough drones for that. I wanted to get red-green faster. I only went this direction because opponent sniped my Animus, making it kind of like, well, I already got some red-green stuff. Red's a lot less good once you get those first couple Tarsiers, and blue is good against the Valk they're obviously building. I don't know. Maybe I could have just put down the Animus again and gone back to the plan, but this seemed good too. And of course it won, so there you go. And they're just clearly lost at this point, of course, when they resigned. Like, what are you gonna do? You don't have a Blast Forge. You have 6 permanent attack, and I have about 9. Like, the Valk is actually attacking for 4 every turn, not just 2, because the Shivers are taking care of the barriers that get left behind. Plus, I have extra breach threat, so yeah, it's all pretty sad and bad. And they don't have Plexos, but I do. Likewise, Protos. Yeah, okay. Well, let's go look at Homeless's game here, see how that ended. Let's see how it started, honestly. Like, there was some weird stuff going on. I don't know. Like, everyone had a million drones, and then... Did I see someone cut a drone for a conduit? Wow. Oh, sure, for Zamora. Makes sense. Yeah, of course. Centrifuge for the Apollo, I guess. Then you get double blue Auric for Xenos? Not sure what the Aurics are for. Well, let's figure it out. He built double drone, and then said, well, wait a minute. I guess he's looking at like Zatron Xeno, I guess, is the idea. And that's 16 bucks. I see. Yeah, there's Zatron Xeno. And then he cemented the drones now. Well, isn't the centrifuge turn the one where you most want the ability to sell back drones? I mean, I guess you're getting Apollo, Hellhound, Tarsier, and that's 22? Okay, so you don't have to sell back the drones, but also there's no advantage to keeping them, right? You could double Auric here and then just cement the drones next turn if you want. But it's probably fine. Like, you're gonna want at least 17 drones this game. I don't think it's a disaster to have cut the Oryx. This Zatron's not getting such great value, but I mean, I guess he got a click, that's something. Huh. Kind of a cool game so far. I've liked most of Homeless's plays, haven't had any real objections. And I don't know, like, is Apollo actually good here? Yeah, I think it is. There's conduits to snipe, if nothing else. Don't you need one more conduit? There aren't any left. I see. This is about when we came in, right? Yeah. That's how we turned off the Zamora. Okay. It seemed to me that Unknown had enough attack lead that turning off the Zamora would not be enough to win, but I mean, 8 drones is a lot. And now he starts shooting walls. I had suggested that on a prior turn, but I guess his point is like, you're still not getting Zamora next turn, even with this, and by sniping a wall, it's more awkward for you to defend. Okay, sure. Yeah, I guess that's the right defense. And now we're like getting good Rhino value, huh? Trying to deny future Zamora clicks. Yeah, giving opponent only 4 and like, oh my gosh, he's out of walls. Nice. It's going well, I think. I mean, it's easy to say that when I know he won, but hang on. Would it have been worth losing Zatron here? To kill the enemy Zatron as well? Right, like a play that we have available is this. It costs us our Zatron, but we get Absorb on this turn. We get 3 Absorb on Xeno. Opponent gets none. And we're sort of in a more comfortable position regarding like Xenos and green and all this stuff. We might take a turn like this. Oh no, this is not so great because we're losing a ton of Xenos, right? No, opponent's not clicking. Yeah, I don't need this force field. Opponent can't click the Zatron, the Zamora. They only actually have 12 attack, which is 4, 7, 9. I need to find 3 health somewhere. Can't build a wall. But just Xeno is fine, I guess. And it looks pretty bad for opponent here, right? They have no walls. If they build force field, well, they're not getting Zamora next turn, whether they build force fields or not. But like this doesn't defend. Yeah, this is like over. So how did it look like in the actual line that Homeless took? Oh, opponent resigned. I see. Well, that's good too. I think it would have been fine to lose the Zatron, though. The Gambit opponent offered is worse for them than it is for us, I think. Yeah, so I think that what decided this game was like getting that Apollo. Which goes back, of course, to the Centrifuge. I don't know that I would have gotten the Fuge. I wouldn't have identified this as an Apollo set, but... Like, there are players who think that, like, Apollo is insane against Zamora, and I have previously not been very convinced of this. Like, it's fine to snipe conduits, I guess, but that seems like a pretty slow thing to do, isn't it? But Zamora sets often are a bit slow, because in order to get Zamora, you need a little bit of defense. Here we had Xenos and Hounds. And Zatron, importantly. So... if it's going to be slow, that Apollo is going to get value eventually. So I think this was a good play that I would have missed that that Homeless found. And I'm just like kind of shocked that this massive attack disadvantage was compensated for by just Apollo, right? We're losing in everything but Apollos, I think. And that's enough to win. Cool. Well played. I hope you guys enjoyed this little detour into someone else's game. Just wanted to see how that finished. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.